Welcome. Imagine a moment when everything in your life starts going wrong at the same time. You planned your day carefully, but suddenly things begin to break apart. A message arrives with bad news. Your work does not go as expected. Someone speaks to you in a harsh tone, and your mind becomes full of noise. Your heart beats faster, your breathing becomes heavy, and your thoughts start running in every direction. In this moment, most people lose control without even realizing it. They react quickly, they speak without thinking, and they make decisions that they later regret. But what if this moment, this exact moment of pressure, could become your turning point? What if instead of losing control, you could find calmness inside yourself? This story will take you through that experience, slowly and clearly, so you can not only improve your English but also understand how to stay calm when problems appear in your life. It started like a normal day, quiet and simple, without any sign of trouble. Everything felt under control, and there was a sense of comfort in routine. But life does not always follow our plans. Without warning, small problems began to appear, and at first they did not seem serious. A small delay here, a misunderstanding there, a task that did not go as expected. These things looked unimportant in the beginning, but slowly they started to connect with each other, forming a bigger situation. The mind, which was calm before, began to react. Thoughts started to come quickly, one after another, asking questions that had no immediate answers. Why is this happening now? What will I do next? What if everything goes wrong? These thoughts created pressure, and that pressure began to grow inside, even though the problems outside were still manageable. As the situation became more intense, the body also started to react. The shoulders felt tight, the face became tense, and the breath became shorter and faster. This is how stress takes control, not only through thoughts, but also through the body. Many people do not notice this change until it becomes too strong. They continue reacting without stopping, making the situation more difficult than it needs to be. In that moment, there was a strong urge to act quickly, to fix everything at once, to respond to every problem immediately. But acting in a hurry often creates more confusion. Words come out wrong, decisions become unclear, and simple problems turn into bigger ones. But something different happened in this moment. Instead of reacting immediately, there was a pause. It was not a long pause, just a few seconds, but it was enough to create a small space between the problem and the reaction. In that small space, something important appeared: awareness. A slow, deep breath followed, and then another. The problems outside did not disappear, but inside, the noise became slightly quieter. This small change made a big difference because it allowed the mind to slow down. When the mind slows down, it begins to see things more clearly. This is the first step in staying calm, creating a pause before reacting. With this small calmness, the situation looked different. Instead of feeling like everything needed to be solved at once, the focus shifted to just one part of the problem. What is the next small step? Became the guiding thought. Not the full solution, not the final result, but just the next step. This way of thinking reduced the pressure immediately because it made the problem feel smaller and more manageable. When people try to solve everything at once, they feel overwhelmed. But when they focus on one step at a time, they move forward with more clarity and confidence. However, the challenges did not stop. Another problem appeared, and then another. A conversation became difficult. A delay created more tension, and the situation tested patience again and again. Each time, the mind tried to return to its old habit of reacting quickly and emotionally. But now there was a new awareness, a new habit slowly forming. Each time stress increased, there was a conscious effort to pause, to breathe, and to observe before acting. This did not remove the difficulty, but it changed the experience completely. Instead of feeling controlled by the problem, there was a growing sense of control from within. At one point, a deeper realization came. Not everything in the situation could be controlled. Some outcomes depended on other people, some depended on time, and some were simply uncertain. Trying to control these things only increased frustration and stress, so a decision was made to let go of what could not be controlled and to focus only on what could be done in that moment. This shift reduced a large amount of mental pressure because it removed unnecessary struggle. Accepting reality, instead of fighting it, created more space for calm thinking and better action. As time passed, small improvements started to appear. One issue was handled, then another, and slowly the situation began to stabilize. It was not perfect, and not everything went exactly as planned, but progress was visible. More importantly, the feeling inside had changed. There was no longer a sense of panic or helplessness. Instead, there was a quiet confidence, a feeling that no matter what happens, it can be handled step by step. This confidence did not come from solving all problems, but from learning how to stay calm while solving them. This experience showed something very important. Problems are not the real cause of stress. The way we react to problems is what creates stress. When the mind reacts with fear, everything feels worse. But when the mind stays calm, even difficult situations become manageable. Calmness does not mean that you do not feel anything or that you ignore the problem. It means that you choose how to respond instead of reacting automatically. It is a skill that can be practiced and improved over time. In daily life, there are many opportunities to practice this skill. Small situations like a delay, a mistake, or a disagreement can become training moments. Instead of reacting immediately, you can pause, take a breath, and observe your thoughts. You can ask yourself what the next small step is and focus only on that. This practice may feel difficult in the beginning, but with time, it becomes natural. Your mind becomes more stable, your reactions become more thoughtful, and your ability to handle problems becomes stronger. Another important part of staying calm is staying present. Often, the mind creates stress by thinking about the past or worrying about the future. It remembers what went wrong or imagines what could go wrong. But these thoughts are not happening in the present moment. When you bring your attention back to what is happening right now, the mind becomes quieter. You deal with what is real, not with what is imagined. This makes the situation feel more manageable and reduces unnecessary stress. By the end of the experience, there was a clear understanding that calmness is not something outside that you need to find. It is something inside that you need to allow. It is always there, but it is often hidden by fast thoughts and strong reactions. When you slow down, when you breathe, and when you focus on the present moment, calmness naturally appears. It becomes your strength, especially in difficult situations. Life will always bring problems. This is something that cannot be changed. There will always be unexpected moments, challenges, and pressures. But what can change is how you respond to these situations. You can choose to panic, or you can choose to stay calm. You can choose to react without thinking, or you can choose to pause and respond with clarity. This choice, even though it feels small, has a powerful impact on your life. So, whenever you find yourself in a difficult situation, remember this experience. Remember that you do not need to solve everything at once. You only need to take the next step. Remember that you do not need to control everything. You only need to focus on what you can control. And most importantly, remember that calmness is already inside you. You just need to pause, breathe, and allow it to guide you. As you finish reading this story, take a slow, deep breath. Notice how your body feels. Notice how your mind feels. This simple act is the beginning of calmness. And with practice, this calmness can stay with you, even in the middle of life's biggest problems.